All right, well, a few minutes ago, we were talking to you how police were looking for the suspect behind someone who stole a welding truck. Well, we do have a picture for you. This is the vehicle police are looking for. It is described as a 1998 GMC 3500 with its Alberta license plate BDS 8569. Now, they say in addition to the welding unit, the trunk has a spare tire mounted to the roofline of the cab. Anyone with information is asked to call RCMP. Well, it's time again to go back in time in retrospect this week from the archives. Now this week, Brian Hardy brings us stories on how technology is aiding teachers and how Lloydminster was visited by the Premier.
This week in 1998, the border city held its business week with the Premier making an appearance.
Ralph Klein spoke of focusing on the positive last night at the Business Week banquet.
It is so good to be living in this province.
Klein has been in the news recently after he announced his hopes to merge the federal Tory and Reform parties as a way to remove the Liberals from power.
I think that's the only way that we're ever going to have a conservative movement or conservative government in this Canada, whether that's a reform conservative or a progressive conservative.
When asked the question if tax cuts coupled by dropping oil prices could be a cause of concern for the province, Klein responded by saying he wasn't worried.
These things are always cyclical. They never last forever. I've always said that you never look at things as a depression, a recession. You look at these things as an economic interruption.
Sage Pullen, NewsHour.
It's November 2001 and teacher mics are installed at one Wainwright school.
Surround sound in the classroom. Cordless microphones and speakers were integrated into one class per year. But with funding from Alberta Learning, Wainwright Elementary placed the system school-wide. Each teacher is equipped with a headset or lapel mic, battery pouch, and extra batteries. Best of all, they do not have to strain their voice to be heard.
Once you get used to wearing it, it's just there. You don't even think about it.
I think that we've taken a positive step here to really make some improvements in the learning environment in our classrooms at Wainwright Elementary School.
In Wainwright, Nicole Strachlet, NewsHour.
Join us next time when we meet a new generation war veteran on Retrospect this week from the archives.
Well, in this installment of our monthly interview with Lloydminster RCMP, we asked to hear from you, the viewer, and see if you had any questions for police. Now, earlier this afternoon, I sat down with Staff Sergeant Dave Callis to ask him a few of those questions. Well, thank you very much for joining us. So we got some questions to ask, and this one was the most popular one. And of course, people are asking, we got a few requests for this one. When is the new RCMP building on 44th going to be completed? Now, we know we guys kind of ran into some problems with the builders, but yes.
Yeah, the information I get from the city is that it'll be done by June of next year, so June 2014. And hopefully, if all goes well, we'll be in that facility by August or September of next year.
August, September, so that is kind of the plan where everything will be moved over?
It should be, and we'll just, it's business as usual for us still, so you won't see any decrease in service because of the location where we're at. So.
And it's going to be exciting for you guys to be able to move into a new building.
Oh, absolutely. We've outgrown the one that we're in currently, so the extra space is going to be very welcome.
All right, so our second question, it comes from Justin Curvers. Now he asks, why does the city not have city cops along with RCMP? And he kind of mentioned you kind of see that in other jurisdictions.
Okay, well, the city does have a city police force, and it is the RCMP. What a lot of people don't realize is the RCMP is not only Canada's national police force, but we also contract policing services at the provincial and municipal level. So the city of Lloydminster has decided to contract with the RCMP for municipal policing services, and that's what we do here in the city of Lloydminster, where our detachment does not go outside of the city boundaries of Lloydminster. So we're very much a city police force, and myself, I've been the last 10 years of my service, I've been involved in municipal contracts. So the RCMP does have a lot of expertise in that area. So we are a city police force, and every bit as much as Saskatoon City Police or Edmonton.
All right, so we're going to go to our final question. This one is from Richard Hotveit. Now, he says, with the expected growth rate of the city, is there enough staff to handle the needs when it comes to law enforcement requirements within the community?
Yeah, well, and again, the city, when they contract with the RCMP for those policing services, we're always talking about what resources we need to provide effective policing services. Since I arrived here just a little over 3 years ago, we've increased our complement from 37 to 43, and really we're keeping pace with that growth. And policing services are obviously, it's an expensive line item for the city, so they're not going to put more resources in there than what they can afford. But the city's been very good about keeping pace with what is needed for Lloydminster. So those discussions are always ongoing, and we keep a very close eye on it. And quite honestly, I think we're well staffed